Kino is arguably one of the most famous zombie maps to ever exist. It's also probably one of the first zombie maps many new people coming into zombies would ever experience back in the early years of zombies. Many of those people, including myself, probably struggled to get past round 20, round 30, round 40, and would only ever dream of hitting triple-digit rounds. As I was 12 at the time of the Black Ops 1 release and a degenerate kid who honestly didn't leave his bedroom, I learned how to get better, and after several years, when I was around 15, I hit my first ever round 100. In fact, I ended at round 118, which to this day is still my highest ever round. And yes, I know it took me 3 years to do this, okay, I'm fully aware of that. But now that I'm here, I want to test myself, which leads me to this. Round 100 on Kino de Toten without leaving the spawn room. Now, I knew this wasn't going to be possible for me, at least without the use of gobblegums. Now, I know there'll be a few of you out there being like, oh, boo, gobblehums, ew. Yeah, I don't care. I really don't. My setup consisted of Perkaholics, obviously, Immolation Liquidation, Wall Power, Bullet Boost, and Power Vacuum. I selected these gums with a few things in mind. Wall Power and Bullet Boost quite literally perfectly work hand in hand. You grab an RK5, you get a Pack-a-Punch, then you use Bullet Boost, and you just pray for Deadwire, which for once actually worked in my favor. Now that I had the first obstacle out of the way, I needed and wanted the Thunder Gun. Luckily, Kino is one of the few Treyarch zombie maps that actually has a box in the spawn room, and this is obviously where Immolation comes in. First spin of the box, and I immediately received the monkeys, which I honestly wasn't even considering as a thing I'd need going into this. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot they existed for a second, but just moving on. But as usual, this is where my luck ended. I wanted to get the Thunder Gun before I grabbed my Perkaholic for the main reason that Mule Kick exists. It literally exists, and it's the worst perk to ever be put into zombies. I can't explain to you how much I hate this perk, mainly because I know for a fact that when I get Mule Kick, it takes me goddamn 34 tries to get to the one weapon I actually need to use that will actually save my life in that one specific time and place, but I can never get to it because oh boy, Mule Kick's just like, hey, I forgot where your gun is, and yeah, just go scrolling through them and look like a dumbass in the meantime. Be back to you soon. That being said, I also didn't really want to risk being on round 20 without perks or the Thunder Gun, so I caved and took the Perkaholic the second I saw it. And of course, what do I get out of the box literally 2 minutes later? The goddamn Thunder Gun. Don't know why I did that accent. Now that I was set up, I could actually begin making my way to round 100. Rounds 10 to 20 went about how you would expect, just pretty slow and boring. In fact, it wasn't up until about round 25 where things started to get a little bit dicey, and that's when I thought, this is the time. The time to unleash my secret ability, the force that would get me to round 100. Power Vacuum. Now I know earlier on I said I wanted to test myself, but now that I'm here, I want to test myself. And Power Vacuum kinda makes you do the opposite of that. You just said. But I'm not just going to be doing one round 100 starting room and then disappearing from this. Oh no. I will be attempting to hit round 100 on all BO3 starting rooms, which includes Shadows of Evil, Verrucht, Shinonuma, Garod Krovi, and they will be no easy task. Trust me, they are going to be some of the most tedious, painful moments that I go through when it comes to playing Call of Duty Zombies. Kino de Toten is merely just the warm-up act for what is to come, so I can actually, well, hopefully, learn how to do high rounds. Also, if you think I'm doing this on the Giant, give your head a wobble, it's not happening. Literally impossible for my dumb ass to do that. Now that I had Power Vacuum in my possession, I knew that the next 20 to 30 rounds would be a breeze, which they obviously were. Minus a few hiccups here and there, but it wasn't anything too serious. I'm not gonna lie, the main challenge I faced during this was the economy of the game. Keeping track of how many points I had and how expensive the gobblegums were, how many rounds of Power Vacuum I had left, where in the cycle I was in terms of gobblegums. All of this made for a very interesting challenge and something I wasn't really familiar with at all when it comes to playing zombies. The gobblegums, however, were the main challenge. As I was so focused on using power vacuum to actually, well, kill the zombies, keeping track of the gobblegum cycle became a bit of a nightmare. For those that aren't familiar with gobblegums, you can pick 5 to take with you into a game. You will receive 1 at random from the gobblegum machine. However, the way the cycle works is you will get all 5 gobblegums in your pack before you can then have the chance to get a duplicate. For instance, when I get power vacuum first in the cycle, I then have to get the other 4 gobblegums in the pack before I have the chance to receive power vacuum again. You see how this becomes a bit of a headache? I was finally entering the final stages of the game. I'd hit round 80. I was feeling good. I was in the groove and I knew just another hour or so I would have my round 100. But then round 82 happened. After 82 rounds and 2.5 hours, I take my first down. Admittedly, it was all my own fault. For the first time all game, I'd lost concentration. I wasn't paying attention to zombie spawns or how much time I had left on my power-ups, and like the dumbass I am, I'd take it down. Initially, I thought I was close to the end of the round, but I was so wrong. I knew without perks I would be in trouble, but I'd just taken a fresh power vacuum, and I was torn between risking the gobblegum machine for a perkaholic or just trying to get through with power vacuum. It was also in this moment when I noticed that my thunder gun was in fact in my 3rd weapon slot. Which leads me to reason 86 as to why I hate Mule Kick and why it's awful. I get immolation from the gobblegum machine, and with the luck of the gods, I somehow pull the thunder gun first time. But I still didn't have perks, and I knew that I would need to get them soon or this run was over. I hit the gobblegum machine one more time just to get swarmed by a horde of zombies, losing whatever gobblegum I'd just gotten. Then it happened. I've run out of ammo in my thunder gun, and I knew the game was over. I was done. For about an hour whilst I ate and reset my brain, that is. Fast forward another 2.5 hours and I'm right back to where I left off. This time in a much better position. I had the cycle of gobblegums down almost perfectly. Everything was in motion. This was the run. Once I crossed the round 90 mark, I knew I had to play with caution, as there was no way in hell I was doing this for a 3rd time. Round 95 was dogs. I got a fresh power vacuum on round 97 and I knew this was the final stretch, the home run. Round 99 felt like it lasted an eternity, even with power vacuum, but in due time, I crossed into the triple digits. I had done it. And round 100 was dogs, which is honestly the easiest round 100 anyone could ever actually ask for. Thanks so much for watching this video. I know it's a little different to the content that I usually put out, but you know, I thought I might as well try and change things up a little. But if you did enjoy it, don't forget to drop a like, drop a sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.